Hi everyone, welcome back to Acres of Clay. I'm Rhonda and today I'm making sweet relish. So I've got a whole bunch of cucumbering pickles here and actually I got 10 pounds. My recipe calls for 5 pounds and I'm going to double this recipe because I have more than enough cucumbers to double it. So I'm going to double this and I'm going to show you guys how I make this recipe. So today I'm going to start it today. So I'm going to get everything chopped up. It calls for cucumbers, onions, and carrots. Chop all of that up and then I have to cover it with ice for, it says about 6 hours, but I'm going to do it overnight because by the time I get around to it, it'll be quite late tonight. And I'm not going to feel like canning them yet tonight. So I'm going to chop it all up and show you how I do this. Okay, this is what's going on here. I'm using my food processor with just this knife. And I'm chopping up all these cucumbers. And it's looking like... this, kind of chunky, yet not too chunky. So I'm going to keep working at this, get all of these cut up. I take the ends off, cut them up, just so that way I can put them in here a little easier. It's kind of a messy job, but it's a whole lot faster than cutting it all up by hand. I have all the pickling cucumbers ground up, so they're just in fine little chunks. And now I have to cut the onion. This is roughly 16 cups of cucumbers because I'm doubling it. So if you were to make a single batch, it would be 8 cups of cucumbers. And the next thing is onions, 4 cups of onions. And I'm doubling it, so I need 8 cups of onions. And then after that is carrots. You need 2 cups of carrots. I'm doubling it, so I need 4 cups. And I'll chop them all up and mix them in here, and I'll show you that when I'm all finished. Here is the bowl. I got the onions, the cucumbers, and the carrots in here, and then I put 5 tablespoons per batch of salt. So there's 10 tablespoons on top of this of salt. And now I'm just going to cover this with a thick layer of ice cubes. Cover it, and I'm going to stick it in the refrigerator overnight. Good morning, it's day 2. So yesterday I did the cucumbers, the onions, and the carrots. I did all of that, put some salt on the top, covered it with ice, stuck it in the refrigerator, and now I'm going to drain this because right now there's quite a bit of moisture in here. There's quite a bit of liquid in here, and so I'm going to drain it and rinse it. You have to rinse the saltiness off of it. So I'm going to do that, but before I do that, I have my big pot. This is a kettle that I use for making cheese, and I think it's 5 gallon. I think I can hold 5 gallon of milk in here. So this is a pretty big pot, but you got to remember I duplicated the recipe, so this is double everything. And what I'm gonna do is get the brine ready, and then I'll rinse the cucumbers because I want the brine to start heating up. So let me show you what I add to make the brine. Alright, to begin with, I'm going to put the sugar in. Now, this is again duplicated, so you're going to need 7 cups of sugar if you're making a single batch. I need 14 cups of sugar because I'm doubling it. And it may sound like a lot of sugar, but again, this is a sweet relish. So 14 cups of sugar in my big pot. And then I need 8 cups of vinegar. 8 cups of vinegar go in the big kettle. Alright, now I'm going to start adding the seasonings. So let's see. I'm going to start with celery seed. I need 4 teaspoons of celery seed. 2 teaspoons of ground turmeric. 2 teaspoons of ground nutmeg. And 1 teaspoon of ground black pepper. I'm going to stir this all together. I don't know if you can't probably see it. Everything's going to turn that yellow color of turmeric, including my spoon most likely. Now before I started this, I put my pint-sized jars in the dishwasher to get them sanitized. So that is working at doing that right now. I'm going to set this on the stove and get it heating. I have my colander in the sink and I'm going to carefully pour part of this into the colander. Like I said, carefully. And I'm going to rinse this with cold water. I'm going to remove, oh, there's a big carrot. I'm going to remove any remaining ice cubes as well. Once you have it pretty much drained from all the extra water, you're going to add this to the brine that's heating on the stove. So here's the mixture. I have it all mixed together. And now I'm just going to put a lid on it and I'm going to bring it up to a boil. And this is going to boil for 20 minutes. While this is heating, I have this heating also. That way it'll be hot and ready when I put the hot jars in there. Alright, it's been 20 minutes of this cooking. Now it is time to fill all my jars. I just took these all out of the dishwasher, so everything is sanitized and ready to go. So I'm going to use pint-sized jars, and each batch says it does about 8 pints. So that's going to be at least 2 canners for me. You want to fill these up with about a 1/2 inch headspace. So now that they're full, you want to take a damp rag or napkin. You're going to want to go around the rims of these. Make sure that there's no stickiness or anything. Also, you want to make sure that there's no cracks in the jars. Now, over here I have a pan with hot water in and the jar lids, so they've loosened this rubber seal up. I'm going to place that right on top. And you're going to put your rings on and just finger tight. Now these are ready to go in the water bath canner. The water in the canner is boiling, so it's ready to go. I'm just going to place each one in here. Alright, lower this down into the water. Put the lid on it. And when this comes up to a rolling boil, then we are going to set the timer for 10 minutes. Okay, it's been 10 minutes on a rapid boil, so I'm going to shut the heat off and remove these. So I can fit 9 jars in my canner, and I have 9 in here, and then I have 9 more that I finished filling while this was cooking. Ooh, they're all already sealing. And so I'm going to do 1 more canner of these, and then I'll be all done. So that would have made, it said it was going to do 16 pints, but I actually got 18 out of it, which is fine. It's usually a rough estimate. Now, this water is still very hot. I'm just going to turn the heat back on and add these jars. Lower it back down in the water. My rag. Put the lid on. Wait for this to boil and then set the timer again for 10 more minutes. These are ready to go. So this is sweet relish. This is my husband's favorite sweet relish. When we first got married, I knew that he loved sweet relish, so I needed to find a recipe, and I found this recipe in a cookbook, and I made it the first year, I think in 2002 or 2003, and he loved it. So I've been making it ever since then. I tried some other recipes, like a couple different dill relishes, but he still prefers this one. So I keep making this one, and it is quite good. I will leave the recipe in the description below in case you're interested in trying this for yourselves. One more thing, I'm going to let these set to cool for about 24 hours. Then I'll take the rings off of them, I'll wash them up and label them and put them in the pantry. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.